what? I've been to New Orleans so many times, and that stigma is no. No. I mean, there's like 2 blocks on Bourbon Street where, yes, girls feel free to do that and beads get thrown. But in general, the throw me something, mister, like from the parades and everything like that. No, police prefer you not do that.
Gasparilla guys in Tampa does it.
There you go. It's such a friendly town, like family friendly town. Yeah.
I haven't been. We're going to go.
We're going to go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to do a podcast episode there.
On the balcony on Bourbon Street.
Oh, yes. Okay. Here we go. I love that. So anyways, y'all, it is Mardi Gras weekend. Mardi Gras is in a few days. So I guess this is carnival season, technically, is the right phrase. So in honor of that, I mean, we're drinking this beautiful Oregon Spirit, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So good.
It's 100 proof, guys, so it has a little heat to it.
Notice the flush in our cheeks, right?
It's good, though.
But in the spirit of it being Mardi Gras season, we did a take on a Vieux Carré. So, I mean, Vieux Carré uses a different spirit.
Okay.
But since we're featuring this incredible spirit with this bourbon, which it's a take on it. So the rest of the ingredients are there. Benedictine, cognac, vermouth. Yes, but delicious. Cheers.
Cheers.
And welcome to another episode of Books and Booze.
Oh.
Delicious. Oh, right? So strong with that under proof. But
I mean,
so good.
ice, you would think
Ice
the
helps,
ice would
yes.
kind of tone it down a bit, but man, it's still there. So good, though. So I'll still go for it.
All right. So the book, this is our second episode of, what are we reading? E-Myth.
Yes, E-Myth, Michael Gerber. So I have you think for a minute. I'm like,
Yeah. What a wonderful book. Like,
I really loved it too.
talking about the entrepreneur journey and shifting, like we take our clients through when they're launching businesses, you know, moving from that entrepreneur mindset into business owner mindset. He really nails down a lot of the fundamentals here, right? And that's what I'm really enjoying about this book so much. Right?
I think this book personally touched me the first time I read it was because on my own entrepreneurial journey, I hit every single thing he touched on. And I'm not going to go dive into it because that's what we're about to do now.
Right.
But every part of it, I was able to associate some part of my journey along with that book.
What he wrote in here.
Yeah, really. And I've read this now, probably a good 4 times. You know, anytime I find myself in a part where I'm like, man, kind of in a slump, I pick up the book and it just kind of reminds me of what needs to happen.
Yep.
Yeah. And
I feel like
right back into
this
things.
plus Start With Why is like a powerful, punch really to get you back into your core reasons and then the systems that need to be in place, right? So what I like that he does in this book is he takes us really through just one person's journey. And I think the names have been changed to protect the innocent, right? We're learning about Sarah and her apple pie store.
Business.
Yes. And where we started hitting on at the end of the last episode was Sarah had really, she was told she's amazing at baking pies. She makes these delicious pies. And she had these great memories of baking pies with her aunt or grandmother, one of the two, right? Somebody special in her family, a matriarch figure. And now the business was running her, basically.
Yeah.
Because...
And it's a familiar story, too. You know, when you're good at something, the first thing, you know, a lot of your family and friends and people you're close to.
Even coworkers. You should open your own place.
Open your own business and do this for yourself and be your own boss, you know?
And we see that a lot, as, our clients come to us and they're like, hey, we're ready to start a business.
Yeah.
And they have all these dreams and aspirations. It's important to really take time to make sure we understand.
We just need to fix the spot and making sure it's nice and pretty.
So, distraction from the cameraman. Thank you. We have a lot of our clients that come to us, they're ready to start a business and their why is, until we dig deeper, so much, I'm really a master at this where I already work and I feel like I could do it more efficiently, right? Or I'm really good at this. People always come to me for this, or I enjoy doing this. That's what started for you, my friend.
Well, I was just going to go into that. I started making jewelry. I maybe in a previous podcast, I believe we went into this briefly, but I started my journey into entrepreneurship by making jewelry. Everyone around me, oh, it's so pretty. You should do this as a business. Start your own business. And yeah, I did. I went. I started my own business making jewelry, but that was my hobby. And then we'll dive into it a little bit more. But my hobby turned into a job, and then it's not as it wasn't as happy anymore, and it wasn't like a place of solace anymore.
Right.
So it made things difficult.
What Michael identifies, and we try to help our clients identify, is there's multiple hats you have to wear when you're a business owner. So many. Michael narrows it into 3 and really puts these 3 into wearing a very broad rimmed hat, right? Yeah. But he talks about the manager, the technician, and the entrepreneur. Yeah. And most people, when they start a business, I would say 80 to 90% of our clients, right? They are technicians. They are really great at something.
Yeah. I think I would say 100%. Yeah. I mean, I haven't met, and guys, please comment below if you can go against me on this. I have not met someone who came in as a true entrepreneur yet. Yeah. They have started as a technician, being good at something operational.
Yep.
And then they took what they knew
from the work that they had,
and they went and they started a business.
Their own business. Right. Yeah. And a lot of times people are so anxious to get away from the boss. Mm-hmm. They are just really excited to go and, hey, I am so good at this trade or this craft or this art or this. Yeah.
Yeah. I think too, you come in as an entrepreneur, you come in as a technician wanting to become a business owner. And if the only reason why you dove into entrepreneurship is because you didn't want to have a boss, then you're lacking the leadership skills and the managerial skills necessary in order to carry out some of the tasks needed as a business owner.
Completely. Yes. So what I like how he really talks about like what each of those hats prefers, mm-hmm. right? And the technician is the doer, right? They are the ones, they can get stuff done. They're often the type who will just take it all on themselves because nobody can do it as good as them.
They do it good.
And yes,
which
absolutely.
is why everyone encouraged you to go open up a business, because you didn't do it crappy. If it's crappy, everyone would say, you really shouldn't quit your job. Right. But if you did it good, everyone's encouraging you to do it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're showing up as really an expert or master in your craft. So, but then the manager hat is somebody who wants predictability, right? They need things to be planned out. They need order and organization. And sometimes what happens is when the technician steps into that manager role, they get very closed and fixed on... It has to be perfect.
Yeah.
They don't want to launch anything unless it's absolutely perfect. And in the pie lady's case, those pies need to be exactly made a certain way and have a specific taste and look a certain way before they could leave those doors.
Yep.
And that was her managerial side, saying perfection or nothing.
Right. Yep. And then he talks about the entrepreneur, who is the visionary, right? And these are the ones that often they live kind of in the future.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get a combo of entrepreneur technician, mm-hmm. and sometimes we get a combination of entrepreneur and manager, right?
Yeah, and I actually think the entrepreneurs are impatient.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And they don't think, they want things done yesterday, and it can often cause chaos.
Yeah.
And that's often when they can't maybe keep partners or employees because they're just far ahead.
I find a lot of times too in the entrepreneurial mindset is they're thinking so fast that it can't actually make it out their mouth. So they get so caught up in do now that they don't actually articulate it and think out what they should be doing beforehand.
Completely. And then what I love that Michael does is he transitions from that understanding of these 3 different hats, and he begins to dig into the stages of owning your business and how you start out in infancy, mm-hmm. right? Where they're kind of trying to do everything on your own.
One-man
band. Yep.
Yeah.
And then you move into adolescence,
mm-hmm.
and you're kind of starting to figure things out, but you really you haven't quite brought in the right team. And by team, it might mean only one other person.
Yeah.
It's very positive. We've done several organizational charts with it is just the husband and wife that have opened a business, or 2 friends that opened a business.
Yeah.
But that organizational chart is so important, right? Because it really helps delineate who does what.
Exactly.
Who's and then it helps things from getting missed and things falling through the cracks. And And then talking about stepping into maturity.
Yeah. She likes maturity.
I do, because it's when you realize that, and he even says it in here. Well, he says two things, right? You go from those 14-hour days, things getting messed up and things getting forgotten, to really where you have become the boss that you tried to get away from. Maybe not in your personality, right? Maybe you wanted to get away from your boss because they were passive aggressive or derogatory or lazy, right? I'm not saying that's but the things that your boss was responsible for, profit and loss statements, the payroll, the inventory.
That's the thing, as as employees, when we're working for someone else, we're only, we kind of have our blinders on, and we're only exposed to exactly what they want us exposed to. You're not seeing the back end or the back office of how, the inner workings happen.
Right.
And so, I know everyone, or not everyone, let me not make that statement.
A lot of people,
of people will just say, I could do it better than my boss, or I could do it better than they're doing. They have a lot of comments on how they could structure things differently or be better than whoever, but it's always saying you don't know the skeletons that are in someone's closet.
Puppy paws, the dogs are on the boots.
You don't know the skeletons that are in someone's closet. You don't know exactly what they're doing on the back end, and those things are overlooked, especially when you decide to go into business for yourself. You kind of get a firsthand deep dive, splash of cold water in your face about all the other everything that happens behind closed doors that you didn't know about previously.
Completely.
Yeah. And that's where it comes into, what do you call maturity?
Maturity, yes.
Yeah.
And then I think there's something else that happens when your business can truly be called mature. You realize that the real successful businesses are the ones that are grown in a way that the intention is to employ others.
Yeah.
99% of the time. We do have a few people that have been going at something for like 30 years.
Well, one of the questions that we like to ask when we're interviewing, new partners, and we can say clients, I'll refer to them as partners, the word partner in helping you grow your business, is the fact that how big do you want to get? Because there are some that are just happy being a lifestyle company, which means they just, they needed a couple $100,000 a year to support their current lifestyle, and which might not require having a team of 7, 8, or 700 or
however many, right?
They decide to go. But still, there is maturity that's necessary, because even if you're just 2 and you want to make a couple $100,000, there's still, like we said, there's managing the books, there's having certain processes on how to reorder product or how, to advertise your business, and all those multiple hats
that you have to switch between.
You have to switch between, yeah. Or you have to bring on team members who can do it. And they could be maybe not on payroll, but maybe they could be contractors.
Yeah, absolutely. Or I feel like we get this a lot, they just want more time with their family.
Yeah, that was mine.
So how do you grow a business to be successful enough that you've hired people that you can still give yourself a paycheck, but you are providing quality of life for somebody else to manage the business for you, or be the tech? You need to hire a manager and hire a technician, right? So that you have that time with your family and your business continues to pay you. And so there's that too. It can still stay a lifestyle business.
It can still stay a lifestyle business, but I think figuring out, I don't know if we're getting ahead of where
No, we're spot on.
Well, one of the things that I like to do is the first questions I ask are, what do you like to do? What are you good at? And then really reflecting inward, say, what are you not good at?
What do you not like to do?
Yeah. And then those are the first things you need to give away. Whatever you're not good at, whatever you don't like to do. And it could be whatever you're good at but don't like to do. You still give it away.
Absolutely. Right? And I like that we take, our clients through their archetype style, right? Because it's important to know who you really are.
Yeah.
Now, doesn't mean that you can't be these other people, but what do you really find your comfort? It's so funny. Before I even read this book, you and I had put that together for our clients, because everywhere I've worked and every business concept, it's good to identify who you are, what you enjoy doing, and what you're good at, like you said.
Yeah.
And then what do you just you know it needs to get done, but ew, gross.
And, Kirsten really came up with a great exercise that we've done with other partners to kind of bring that information out of them, because a lot of times it's in here and you just don't know it yet. So she came up with some really good exercises that can help bring that out of our partners so they can acknowledge what are some of their weaknesses. And it's okay to have weaknesses.
It is.
Right?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And again, knowledge is power. So acknowledging that
Something you can work on,
Yeah.
but it also allows you to choose what do you want to bring in it in your partner.
Yeah, exactly. And then now with that, acknowledging your weaknesses and acknowledging who you want to bring in as a partner, you're that step closer to reaching maturity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Sarah, in this book, she even went through that where she hired somebody in to take care of the books or something. And then all of a sudden, when she thought they had a little bit of free time, then they also helped ring up orders.
Yeah.
And then, oh, you have a little bit more free time. Can you do this? And then pretty soon she's just dumping so much on this person.
I've done it.
And then when they leave, you feel like your world's just falling apart.
Well, we talk about those multiple hats. So you start working in a mode of desperation that you just want to gain your time back. So the first thing you think about is handing it off to someone else. But one, did you efficiently train them, right? Did you have any processes put in place that could effectively be there as some sort of guide manual for this person, And then did you structure your thinking like, when you know exactly what you're looking for, you know exactly the roles that you need this person to complete. And you don't go outside of them even if they have free time, because that free time could have been used to develop their further roles better.
Yep.
But the thing is when you're working in that mode of desperation, you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about how much more can I get off of me to free up my time? And you neglect how that other person is absorbing the information you're trying to teach them.
Yep, completely.
Yeah. So I've been there and done that, and I thought that was my drink. My heart about left out of my chest.
Well, we'll need a mic cocktail next, I guess. So good. But yeah.
Completely lost train of thought.
No, it's good. But yes, when we need to train them right, and we need to honor what we said we brought them in for, and have conversations along the way. Are you ready for something more? And oftentimes that should come with a shift in pay as well. Right? Yeah. In reality.
In reality.
Or some sort of bonus structure maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. You're not just going to keep adding more to their, I should say, their list of responsibilities without having a compensation that matches that.
Or at least a conversation. Yeah, absolutely. So he really launches those mature businesses into businesses that are ready to grow, right? Not that they all will grow, right? That may not be what the business owner wants, but that they're ready to go. And he calls them turnkey businesses, right? And it's just like you move into a turnkey house. What does that mean, right?
You turn the key, you walk in, you're good,
ready to go.
Yeah.
So how do you get your business to a mature place where it is a turnkey business? It is, I think he says it several times, rather, that it's a prototype for another 3,000 like it.
Yeah.
And he really takes us back to what I think the gentleman's name was Ray Kroc, who was a milkshake machine salesman who walked into a hamburger joint run by two brothers, right? I think it was two brothers, right? And their last name was McDonald's. And what he saw was that they had these really efficient systems in place.
Yeah.
And standards and almost an assembly line. So they were almost mimicking what Henry Ford was doing in the assembly line for producing the Model T Fords and other cars. And it just made it something very replicable. And he pitched the idea to them to turn it into a franchise. And I mean, how many thousands of McDonald's around the world now?
Yeah.
Right? So this isn't a shameless plug for McDonald's at all. What this is the realization of when you get something that is simplified and repeatable, where what you're doing is you are teaching a system.
Yeah.
To over and over. And then what begins to happen is you're managing the system, right? You bring someone in and, okay, you will be on the line, cook, right, for McDonald's. You will be cashier. Eventually, we will cross-train you, and maybe we could look at you growing. But right now, this is how this should go. And it was down to a science at McDonald's. Like, The burger was cooked X amount, and then after so much time, it was flipped.
Yeah.
And then the pickles were apparently arranged in such a way that they didn't fall out.
Forgot about that part. Yeah.
I read this in the book.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah, but it was that specific as to the standards of everything that it became something that somebody could buy into and then replicate and have a successful business quickly. So that's really what he talks about in this whole section of a turnkey business.
And your processes. Maybe you got your SOP.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what he says, is to make it a prototype for 5,000 more like it. So, and we're not at all saying everyone should franchise their business. No, not at all.
I think the first time I read this book was about 5-6 years ago. And then reading that book was when I started actually making the manuals and SOPs for my company.
For your business.
Yeah, and it was inspired by this, and wow, it really did completely change the game. We actually have our SOPs and we have our manuals all saved in one area, and it can be referred back to, because sometimes not all processes are carried out every single day. Some of them are carried out once a month, once a quarter. However, whenever you do need them, they're there and you can refer back to them, and you remember it right away. And if at any point in time we decide, oh, we need to hire an extra person because this particular process is taking up a lot more time or it needs to be optimized better, we can actually look at trying to either optimize it better or bring in someone else who can start helping with that particular process.
Absolutely. So what I like, I guess this is probably a good place to begin to wrap this part up, right? Because the next then digs into really those processes and digs even deeper. So he wraps this up with a really thought-provoking challenge. And I appreciate this. And a lot of times this is hard to say when we meet some of our clients and they're so bubbly and charismatic or passionate, right? But a lot of the times, and Michael says as well, the problem isn't the business. It's often the business owner. And until you change your perspective, I'm quoting him here, until you change your perspective about business and how it works, it's not going to get solved. Yeah. So, digging into, you can't stay the technician or you can't stay the entrepreneur. You're driving your team crazy, right?
Yeah. It's like, what's that saying? Most accidents happen not by the car, but by the operator. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, take ownership.
Take ownership of it. So, as we kind of dig into this, I think, we just came out of reading the book Atomic Habit, or we just came out mindset, right? So really, are you stuck in a fixed mindset that everything else is happening and that's why your business is struggling, or everything else is happening and that's why you can't open a business yet, right? Or maybe you're afraid of failure and you don't want to start your business yet or something like that. Or shifting to the mindset of, what can I learn? What can I try?
Yeah.
I'll revamp it if I need to, right? And then even looking into your existing business, right? We're reading this book through the lens of somebody who is an existing business owner. So what does she need to shift in her operations and her mindset, right?
In order to
turn her business around.
Yeah, make it turnkey.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the goal, make it turnkey.
It totally is.
Yeah.
So, wow, such a great meaty section of the book, right? And eye-opening.
It really was. It
little humbling.
The first chapter it had me, and I think I blazed through that book in 2 days or something.
It's such an easy read, but I think when you do go back and read it a second time, you see even more lessons. He's a very skilled writer. Like it feels what he writes is easy to read, easy to relate to, but it's eye-opening. And humbling.
I think I read the book as already a business owner with not employees, team members. And but I really think this is a good read for anyone who's looking at starting their own business, so you can see where is your current mindset at and where should you strive to be.
Yeah, completely. So what an awesome next part of the book, right? I'm loving this. And I think we lean on this. We recommend a lot of our business owners and entrepreneurs read this because it's so eye-opening. But happy Mardi Gras, y'all. So what do we say? What? Grab a good book?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. It's going to come to me.
Forgot. Or grab a good book.
get some good booze.
And grab a good buddy to share it with. All right, guys, thanks for joining us on this episode. Please remember, we are working on growing our audience, so we'd love that you signed in and listen. Please, if you enjoyed this episode, like or maybe even leave a comment. Subscribe so you know when we're doing this, or share. That would help us out so much. But thank you all for being part of this journey with us. Thank you.
Bye. Ciao, ciao.